Hi. So here's another episode of the Dead Show podcast for you and yo ugly ass. This is only ugly for the phobic people. This podcast is going to be about niggatroversy. So a couple of weeks ago, not even a couple, yeah, it's probably a couple of weeks ago now. Um, I was listening to the Heather B Live show on Sirius XM Urban View. I'm a subscriber. I probably should unsubscribe at this point because it's getting ridiculous. Um, so Heather B, she's a rapper. I like her. Her food is great. Her food looks amazing. She's inspired me to make a couple of her meals that she's put on Instagram. Food is great, but then when it comes to her point of view and shit, it becomes very muddy waters, and it's so problematic, to be honest, because okay, so she has this thing on her show on Fridays. It's called No Judgment Fridays. And to be honest, if you have to call it no judgment, at the end of the day, it's very judgmental. And she was talking about, it was the anniversary of Kobe. Is that his name? Kobe? Yeah, Kobe. I'm not like a sportsnista, but Kobe Bryant and his daughter and the people in the helicopter, that and the anniversary of that situation of his passing. And so she was talking about some dude, I think his name was Kwame, who made some statements about some transphobic, ignorant, ridiculous statements about um LeBron? No. Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade, first of all, Dwayne Wade's daughter, who is a trans, Zaya Wade, I believe her name is, uh, doing this tribute to Kobe, doing this tribute to Kobe, like a fashion tribute to Kobe. And what's his name? Kwame. And the really only reason why I remember his name is Kwame because I think Fantasia has a song by Kwame, who's a producer, I think. Also, I think the producer who is Kwame, I think I gotta go look that up. But in the song, Fantasia's like, Kwame made it. She whispers it. And I think Kwame, which I just learned, did songs for Christina Aguilera. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But anyways, um, so he was just if my memory serves me correct, he was just very transphobic about. He's like, I'm not going to talk about your child, but you as a man, Dwayne, you out here letting your wife run your household and pretty much letting your kids do whatever the fuck they want to do. It was just and how would you think? I was just wait, I think sometimes I morph things into things that I don't think happen. But I think he was just saying no, he was saying something I want how would Kobe was Kobe Bryant, yeah, Kobe was a Christian man, and he thought he was so accepting of God and God's ways and God's principles for us to live on earth, or whatever. And here you are letting your wife dictate and run your household. But it's okay. So he basically was emasculating Dwayne. He was basically acting like Dwayne has no say or isn't an accepting or isn't a good father for letting his child explore how they're feeling or explore what they feel inside that is different about them. I'm not here to talk about Kwame. I'm here to talk about Heather B. Now, Heather B was like, I don't think she really gave her opinion on it. Because I had to cut it off. I really cut it off. I listened to like 30 minutes of it, and I was like, I'm not listening to any of this, more of this, because she really gave it a platform to people, black people mainly, to be transphobic, homophobic, all the phobias. And they weren't talking about what Kwame said about, I'm not going to talk about the child. They were talking about Zaya Wade. And I feel like it's different. It's a different thing to, like, dress feminine. But Zaya Wade is saying, I'm a female. So what is so hard about accepting that? Now, I know, I'll talk about that in a second. What am I trying to say? I'm just trying to say, like, Heather B was totally wrong for that. Heather B, your No Judgment Friday ended up being a very judgmental Friday, because everybody's giving their opinion, their biblical opinion, their personal opinion about Zaya Wade not being, shouldn't be able to do that, shouldn't be able to transition if that's where she's, like, we don't even really know what's going on. I don't even really know what's going on with Zaya Wade. I just know Zaya Wade is identifying as a female and dressing as a female and is no longer a male. So I'm just like, what is so hard about accepting that? This one lady, and it's just like, it's just became so awkward and uncomfortable, because you still have all these negative people calling in, and saying these negative things. But then your producer is just like, she brings out some positive information, and it's totally, like, in my mind, it's so awkward and it's so weird, because your producer is like, what's his name? Kobe, right? Dwight, Kobe is like, he said something homophobic, he said a homophobic slur to like a referee or somebody, but then he had to later retract his statement and said that it was wrong for him to say that, and he's totally behind the LGBT community. I think that's what it was. That's what the statement ended up being. And he had a totally, like, mind change and mindset and acceptance of, like, being and not being insensitive, and that's how he was before he was, sliced and diced. And it's so awkward. She's saying that, and then the next caller is still going in on Zaya Wade. And it's just like, Heather B, you're absolutely wrong for that. You're absolutely wrong for having an hour. It had to be more than like 45 minutes of your show to give these ignorant, transphobic people a platform, and you not really rebuttaling. You're pretty much letting them being judgmental, because it is judgmental. It's very much judgmental. It's No Judgment Friday, so you can call in and tell me your opinion. I want to hear your opinion. If it's bad, if it's good, if it's bad. It's like, no, Heather, this is not positive. This is not, like, pushing anything forward. It's disgusting. I want anybody else, if you listen to that episode, let me know what you think, because I'm just like, it's totally, you're talking about this man being, that Kwame dude is crazy also, because he was talking about this man being, he emasculating the man, not being a good father, just terribleness, and I'm just like, you're just up here letting this go on. You're talking about it. It's just like, what's the point of talking? Because I think she's talked about it before. No, I know she's talked about it before in the last, like, year about Zaya Wade. And Heather's like, I don't have any. Heather just throws herself completely out of the race and just lets people just say, like, disgusting shit. And it's just like, that's not how you use your platform. Because she's like, I don't have any kids, so I don't really know, but I want to know what y'all think. It's like, okay, you don't have to have kids to have an opinion on, people being transphobic. I'll leave it at that. Heather. Urban View. So that Heather B rant, I was a little bit more heated. I think I had probably a lot more to say, but I have been meaning to say it last week, but I have forgotten. So that was like the little PC version. But anyways, on to more niggaversary. Kierra shared, what's her last name? Jordan or something? I don't know. Kelly, that's what it is. Kierra, she was promoting some movie, her new movie, Lion Sisters. I remember that on Lifetime. I might check that out. I was reading some tweets last night from it's called Single Black Female on Lifetime, and this one person was tweeting it, and baby, I'm gonna go watch that with my family this week. But anyways, on to Kierra. So somehow she did an interview with Page Six. I didn't know, we were doing interviews with Page Six now. Very interesting. But she was on Page Six, and they brought up like, you're married, so is there any advice your mother has like given you about being married and keeping your house sacred or whatever. And Kierra, let me read the statement. Gospel singer Kierra shared, tells Page Six that when her girlfriends come to visit, she makes them stay at a hotel so that her husband isn't tempted to have sex with them. Quote, my mama has already told me, don't have too many people around your house. I don't care how good you trust them or whatever it is. I'm very mindful and careful. I would buy a friend a hotel room before I let them stay at my house, she told us. Now, they've only been married for a year. And I'm like, Jesus, already this is going on? Then she kind of like backpedaled. She kind of backpedaled on her statement in a way. Which I'm like, okay. In your marriage. And so I'm down. Okay, sorry. Down for it all. Okay, shut up. Oh, God, and you know what? I don't know how to say I know you said you're really close with your mom, and I know. Hopefully you can still hear me, because I turned the volume down. She said, besides the whole conversation that we had prior, that wasn't considered for full context. Nowadays, healthy boundaries seems like insecurity and distrust to someone. Well, yeah, it kind of does. I mean, you read yourself, Kierra. Yeah, you sound like you have insecurities. Well, at least the way Page Six said it, did seem like, your husband might be fucking around or have, like, temptation to fuck around. Or your friends might be, having temptation to fuck around with your husband. I mean, either it's gonna happen or it's not. So I'm just like, okay, anyway, she said, however, for those who would like the truth, here's a full video to make so many who are reaching and making juicy headlines for clout. I'm blessed to have a husband and friends who I trust. My family and friends are most welcome in my home. They know who they are. Then why did you say that statement then? I'll buy a hotel room for them. See, she's backpedaling. I will remain prayerful and strategic in everything that I do. And so, should you be encouraged to discern well, blah, blah, blah. So protect your homes, husbands, children, careers, and more. Where's the part where she talked about cancel culture? Because I'm sick of hearing about that shit. Like, why are you so afraid of cancel culture? How are you gonna be canceled for saying that, you're gonna keep your husband locked away from your friends when they come around? Where did it go? Be encouraged, comment these days. Oh, here we go. Since we are in a cancel culture, some haven't mastered diplomacy. It's considered phony or fake. So, like you, Kierra, I definitely find Kierra to be fake deep. I definitely find Kierra, like, hearing her talk now, it's just so annoying. I was so, like, intrigued by Kierra. Like, a couple years ago it started. Because, her voice, I'm just like, when I get into an artist, I want to get into an artist. And so I noticed, she especially that pandemic happened, and it just like, the Christian community just like blew up and blew into like a different type of Christian community, and like a worrisome, like I told you so type thing. But anyways, she just became so annoying and fake deep. Like Kierra, I believe at that time, and she probably still is on like this spiritual journey, and she just seemed like she knew it all, and she's coming off as she came off as like a know-it-all, but it's like, no, Kierra, you're on this spiritual journey along with other people. Why are you coming off like fake deep? Like Kierra doesn't seem like she has it all together in the head. Would I keep my man from, my friends? It just sounds weird. If you like, I don't know, it just sounds weird. Like, what kind of friends do you have? But at the end of the day, you like never know. Like, shit happens all the time. If your man wants to be with you, your man's gonna be with you. And if your man's not gonna cheat on you, your man's not gonna cheat on you. Like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if you like prevent it or not. Like, that's really at the end of the day that we have probably learned the most in the last like 100,000 years. If your man is gonna cheat on you, he's gonna cheat on you. If your man's not gonna cheat on you, he's not gonna cheat on you. It doesn't matter who you bring around. It's coming off bird energy. Like, Kierra's a bird. Kierra Bird Kelly. And then, people are like going for her, like, yeah, girl, you said it. You told a word. Read the Bible. It tells you. She's like, thank you. Our house, our rules. Bye. Get the fuck out of here. Thank you, my brother. I love you, period. Thank you, sister. Praying emoji, praying hand emojis, whatever you call them. It's just like, chill the hell out. I feel like sometimes, and then, they went in on Karen on Twitter too. What did I do with that screenshot? No. They went in on Karen too. They were like, oh, why is she telling her daddy in that way? And they're like, oh, she's definitely dry switching on Bishop. Oh my God. Now, I love the Clark sisters, right? I love the Clark sisters. But somebody said the reason why Dorinda tried to commit suicide was not because of the church, like, abandoning her or whatever happened. The reason why they said that Dorinda committed suicide was because Karen found out Bishop J. Drew and Dorinda was fucking around. That's what they said. I didn't say it. They said it, okay? And I'm screaming. I found that information out when the Lifetime movie came out in 2020. I was just like, wait, what are you guys talking about? Lord. Also, I noticed that Kierra and her husband, I mean, it's none of my business. It's none of my business. But they did seem like they got married quickly. Like, it seemed like she was very single for like that holiday. Because she put out like this video and she's like, yeah, I'm talking to a friend. And then all of a sudden, I'm married. It was like no engagement. And then his Instagram, I remember his Instagram went from private to open. And I was like, okay. We kind of, playing the role of husband and wife very quickly. I don't know. It's none of my business, but it's just something that I noticed. I don't know what to say. This niggaversy is a mess today. Hopefully you can still hear me. Thank you so much for listening to the Dare Show podcast. Click around. Tell me what you think. I definitely want to know what you guys think. Are you transphobic? Like, I feel like you really need to get over it at this point. Trans people, homophobes, trans people and homos have been around for decades, and they have been running the world. Everybody everybody knows somebody who's homo. I don't know why people who's trans. I'm not gonna go there. Oh, one thing I do want to say about the trans, it is probably very difficult, but it's difficult when somebody, if you personally know them, and it's difficult to like change your mindset about not them as like a person, but the physical being different. It's very difficult. And then sometimes you have to like change the pronouns. Well, not sometimes. You have to adapt to the pronouns. Especially if you've known them for a little while. Like I don't know. I don't think my cousin's transitioning anymore. But I think for a while she thought about transitioning, and she was like, I want to be I want people to, I want you to, say my correct pronouns. And I'm like, but at the end of the day, I need to grow up. We all need to fucking grow up and respect people the way they want to be respected, and stop talking about these children. Stop talking, like, who cares? Like, why are you so worried about somebody else's child? Why are you so worried about, anyways, click around on the Dare Show podcast. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. Is that my stomach? Can you hear that? Okay, I gotta go.
And I have this fierce single that Sammy McKinney and these little guys put together, baby. I got a single that'll make you jump up and dance. And if you can't dance to that, you got a hole in your soul, okay?